guys, I'm going to walk you through that problem in the book that we went through today, just kind of as a reminder. And as you might recall, I changed in class, I changed this from 5 degrees to 6 degrees because I didn't want it being confusing and having 2 5s in the problem. So we're going to pretend that ice cream should be stored at 6 degrees with an allowance for $5. So as we discussed in class, an allowance means that it could be more or less 5. So it could be 5 less than 6, or it could be 5 more than 6. So to write that as an equation, which is what it's asking us to do, we are going to use X to represent the missing information, which is the temperatures at which ice cream should be stored. So the maximum and minimum temperatures at which ice cream should be stored. So we're going to use X to represent that. And I'm going to write the equation, absolute value, X minus 6 is equal to 5. And let me explain what that means. So I took my X, I took the X that represents so not the one that's recommended, okay, not the ideal, because remember this 6, that's your ideal amount, okay? X is what you can get away with that allowance of 5. So if I were going to put this into writing, what I'm saying is the difference, and remember difference is another way of saying subtraction. So that is why I'm saying difference. And that's why I used subtraction in my equation. So the difference between the minimum / maximum and we're going to call this our ideal amount. Okay, so like what is recommended, the exact thing that's recommended. So the difference between the minimum, maximum, and the ideal is equal to 5. So the number on the outside is the amount that I can have more or less. So the amount on the outside is how much I'm allowed to be off. And we can be 5 off, but we could be, again, 5 too much, or we could be 5 too little, which is why we use absolute value in the equation as well. So it's going to be X, which represents my minimum and my maximum, take away whatever my ideal amount is, and that's going to be set equal to how much I'm allowed to be off. Right now, I just want to show you how to set these equations up. So I'm going to show you a couple more examples that I came up with real quick. So since the average lifespan of an adult fly is 10 days, okay, so this is our average, okay, or kind of like the ideal, like what's normal, give or take 3 days. So this is how much we're allowed to be off. And of course, we can be off by 5, or we can be off by 3 too many, or we can be off by 3 too few. But this is how much we're allowed to be off by. Okay? So when I'm turning this into an equation, X represents the number of days a fly could possibly live. So X minus 10, remember the difference between how long he could last and the ideal or the average can be equal to 3. So it's always the amount that you're allowed to be off that goes on the outside. Try one more that I've got right here. The average lifespan for a moth is 14 days, give or take 2. You try to set it up real quick. However, I'm going to go ahead and work it. So again, the difference between the number of days a moth could live and 15. So the difference between what you want to get and what you could get can be 2 off.